Motherfucker, get out that car, I'ma blow your fucking head off.
And welcome to the Tony Scott Internet Show. I am Tony Scott. That was Wendell Pierce, who was on Bill Mahr this past weekend, where he talked about his experience of being pulled over by the police. Let me let you hear some of that.
It actually happened to me in Louisiana, dressed as I am, going to my uncle's funeral, 2 toddlers in the back. I just picked up my cousin from Chicago, 100 degrees on the road in Louisiana. I'm pulled over, and I sat there waiting for the cop to come. I have a habit of always taking my wallet out and putting it on the dash to make sure he doesn't think this is going for a gun. I sat there and sat there and sat there, and I realized he hadn't come. Air condition on, 100 degrees, and I look in the mirror and I see. That's all I heard. As I turned down the window, you hear, motherfucker, get out that car, I'm gonna blow your fucking head off.
Now, to hear the rest of that, you can go to talking360.com. Also got the video of it. It's about 8 minutes long, and he talks about violence and how it's really the Caucasian race who actually brought the violence, and you can't put that on African Americans. He makes a very good, what would you call it? A lesson. It was a good lesson for those who didn't know. He's going to teach you something. You should watch it again on talking360.com. What a way to start a show, huh? Welcome again. It's Wednesday morning. Cardinals lost last night to the Cubs in extra innings, 4-3. I don't believe the magic number moved because I believe Pittsburgh won too. So there's that. And what else? There was looting going on in Ferguson last night. Looters hit the Beauty Town store over there by Metro PCS on West Florissant. It's the third time that store has been hit. Why? Why was there looting last night? What touched that off? A crowd gathered on West Florissant last night about 9 p.m. It got tense. I don't. Some say there was shots fired, but not really sure if that's been confirmed or not. But why did it happen, though? What happened? The Michael Brown Memorial on Canfield apparently caught fire. Was that Monday night? Some say the candles are what set it on fire. Some say it was deliberately done. People were not happy about that. Also, the memorial that's in the middle of the street was also reportedly run over. Now, I'm not trying to be a hater or anything, but the one in the middle of the street is probably, I'm surprised it hadn't been run over before. Maybe it has, only it hasn't really made the news. I'm not sure. But the one in the middle of the street, unless they put like cement blocks around it, it's going to get hit. The one that was off the street, I don't know. I don't know how it caught fire. I don't know. Were people overreacting? If that was what set off what happened in Ferguson last night with the looting of Beauty Town, then we have a lot of misdirected anger, I think. I respect people's anger and passion about the murder of Michael Brown, but to loot a store, at this point, looting a store is nothing but a selfish act. To say you're doing it in memory of Michael Brown insults Michael Brown's memory. It insults his parents. It insults everybody whose heart aches for Michael Brown, his family, and the whole region of Enough is Enough. You insult everybody because you're selfish. You're doing it for a come up, and you're wrong. You're wrong. Michael Brown didn't die. It wasn't justifiable homicide. It was murder. He was executed, assassinated is what he was. And the folks in Ferguson and in the community who are trying to change the way things have been done in North County for so long have a mission. Their hands are full. Why they have to, stop and try to explain away your inability to perceive, and your inability to actually understand the big picture here. And the big picture is not you grabbing handfuls of weave out of Beauty Town on West Florissant. You're as wrong can be, in my opinion. There were also protesters gathered in Pagedale that had actually stopped some traffic for a bit. Those folks there were upset with the death of Kimberly Randall King, who was 21 years old. She was detained at Pagedale on an outstanding warrant for disturbance with another woman. Police contacted the family, and they say that she hung herself. She committed suicide. Her family says there's no way in hell that my sister, as her sister said, killed herself. She did not kill herself. There's no way that's even possible. She knew Kimberly way better. I didn't even know the young lady. May she rest in peace. Is this another incident of, you know what needs to happen? Well, St. Louis County needs to have one police department. You can't have the Pagedale Police Department and the Ferguson Police Department and the Florissant Police Department and the University City Police Department. You can't have the Riverview Police Department. You can't have, we got over 90 municipalities around the St. Louis area, and you can't have a police department for every single one of them. Now, I understand that there's, a lot of the municipalities don't have their own police department, but we have to have a unified police department. And not St. Louis County Police, because there's some problems there that need to be dealt with. But we need one police department for the county, because accountability, man, there's so much red tape. Because something happens in Pagedale, then they hand it over to the St. Louis County Police Department when something bad happens that could be blown up in their face, because they don't want anything. Hey, hand it over to the county police. Well, now you want them. You know what I'm saying? So we need one police department for that, And St. Louis City, 92 homicides in St. Louis City so far this year. And St. Louis Police Chief Sam Dotson says nearly all have involved the unlawful use of a gun. And there's new legislation that would sentence even first-time offenders to at least 10 years behind bars. How do you feel about that? I've got no problem with it. All right, I don't have a use for a gun in my life. I don't have a use for one. People saying, well, you should be allowed to, defend yourself. You should. And you should go through the process of being able to legally carry a firearm. Well, I can't because I have a record. Well, the choices we make young in life, and, when we're young in life, come back to bite us on the butt each and every time. But first-time offenders getting 10 years, I don't have a problem with it, because enough is enough. We have to give up some things in order to get this problem we have with guns in the St. Louis area under control. We can no longer just say, give them probation. It's the first time. We can't do that anymore. We cannot do that anymore. Kids are getting shot. I mean, kids, like little kids, like 4-year-olds. Something has to be done. We're not willing to give up our rights, but we're going to have to change something. I don't have a problem with 10 years, at least 10 years, first-time offenders or people who get caught illegally with guns. I don't have a problem with it. Doesn't bother me at all. Maybe it bothers you, and you're entitled to your opinion like I'm entitled to mine. But I just can't see where that makes nothing. It makes sense, because something needs to be done. Enough with the 92 homicides in 2014 in St. Louis City. This city ain't that big. Come on, man. Come on. The celebrity nude scandal has hit the male gender. Have you heard about this? Meagan Good is having to explain herself. Wiz Khalifa decided to be ballsy or stupid? I don't know. And got some other things to talk about, too, in pop culture. We're going to do that right after this on the Tony Scott Internet Show.
Do you want to reach an audience that you haven't tapped into yet and not blow your budget? The Tony Scott Internet Show is new, growing, and available to you. And you don't have to be the third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, yes, or even eighth commercial in a commercial break like on the radio. Advertising on the Tony Scott Internet Show is extremely affordable. Contact us at advertise@TonyScottShow.com.
And we are back, Tony Scott Internet Show on a Wednesday morning. Hope you're doing good. Tomorrow is the season premiere of Scandal. Now, it'll be on at 8 o'clock because it's Shonda Rhimes night tomorrow night on ABC. She's got 3 shows, How to Get Away with Murder, and I believe that's on at 9, and then you got Grey's Anatomy on at 7, and Scandal in the middle there at 8 o'clock. So, did you read that article? Was it last week about, was it the New York Times columnist who said that Shonda Rhimes was an angry black woman, and Shonda Rhimes took exception to that? That was odd. This woman didn't even know. She based it on the TV shows to call Shonda Rhimes an angry black woman. That was just stupid is what it was, to be honest with you. That celebrity nude picture scandal has added yet another. This time it's the first male, Omarion. That dude there. Did you see that picture? Oh, my goodness. That thing needs its own Social Security number. He's huge. It's big, but it looks even bigger because he's small. Does that make sense? Make no mistake, though. Like Mark Clark said, he's hung like a fourth grader. And I'm talking about it like an entire fourth grader, height-wise. I mean, he's... that man packing heat. You know what I'm saying? Wow. That was crazy. Meagan Good has been explaining her nude photos. You know, I told her yesterday that she said that the pictures were meant for her husband. She sent them to her husband. But I guess her mistake was, and this is not her saying it, it's me saying it, that she put the pictures on the cloud. I mean, why do you say he saw the pictures? If he wants to save them on his phone, that's his business. If I were you, I'd delete them, but she kept them. She kept them. And what about the picture where she pulls a boob out in a restaurant that was full of people? She says, that was on my honeymoon. They were feeling silly. The church folks, because her husband is a pastor, the church folks have been giving her heat as first lady. That's not the way a first lady conducts herself. You know, she's not representing. Shut up. Let's dig into your past. Let's see what's going on in your closet. Let's see what you've done and what you did when you were Meagan Good's age that would shame the family or shame the church. They're human. They're allowed. He's a pastor. She's the first lady. Then they're allowed to. But they're allowed to live. They're allowed to make mistakes. They're allowed to do that, and that's their business. It just got out. That's what makes it a problem. But man, calm down. That woman is fine. She's fine. I don't mean like looks. I mean she's fine with what she did. She's all right with it. Let it go. Let's move on. Can we do that? Hate it when people just start teeing people up because they're holier than thou. I'm better than you. Nobody's better than anybody. So shut up. Wiz Khalifa decided, you know what? I'm on this red carpet over here. I'm going to light me up a joint. Do they still call them joints? A blunt? A spliff? A doobie? He decided to light a marijuana cigarette on the red carpet at the All By My Side, the Jimi Hendrix movie that stars Ice Cold Andre 3000. Now, was he being defiant? Did he need to smoke weed at that moment so bad that he would just light one up? Was he doing it for attention, to make headlines? I mean, what's the reason for doing that? Why would you do something like that? I don't know. I don't know why anybody would do something like that. That's crazy. That makes no sense at all to do something like that. I mean, really. And to go back for a second to the celebrity nudes, because I spoke about this on our Men on Everything, my YouTube show that I do with Mark Clark and Troy Johnson that's up on talking360.com. And I brought up the nipple. the nipple seems to be the dividing line between what's permissible and what is not permissible. Because, you know, you can go, there are sites that are dedicated to cleavage. There are sites that are dedicated to photos of underboob, of side boob. There's websites just for side boob, you know. But it's always the nipple that's always covered up. We see every part of the breast except the nipple. Now, why is that? Is it because as Americans we're uptight? Because I think this might be the only country in the world where we're hung up on that nipple. That nipple it never gets to. If it comes out, that means you're a dirty woman. You know what I'm saying? That's ridiculous. The nipple should be celebrated. I mean, no, I'm not some pervert. Don't you find it odd that we can show the entire breast except for the nipple? We cannot show the nipple. And even in magazines, men's magazines, not ones that have nudity, but ones that show a lot of skin, like Maxim, you know, they can only go so far. They can show cleavage. They can show a side boob, under boob. They can do that. But if they show nipple, then that changes advertising. So a lot of advertisers, they'll walk up to that line, but when it comes to you show that nipple, they're out, man. They bounce. I talked to somebody in publishing about that one time, and they said, yeah, it's true. They don't want that. They won't advertise if you show nipple. I don't understand. What is it? What the nipple sitting in the corner somewhere going, I get no love at all. I can't get any love at all. I don't know what to do anymore. It's crazy. I don't know, man. That's just doesn't make any sense for the nipple to be ignored that much. And if you say nipple, everybody like turns around and looks at you. If you say nipple, everybody's like, ooh, ooh, ooh. Come on, man. Men got nipples. Why do men have nipples? We don't breastfeed. Well, I think we have nipples. I think it has something to do with, you know, when we're conceived, we start out as females, right? Something like that, and then we kind of morph into males. So we start out females, we get issued a pair of nipples, and then as we turn into men, they don't serve the same purpose. Do they serve any purpose for men? For a man? Really? I don't know. My wife told me one time that a woman can lactate if she hears a baby crying. I don't know. I don't know why I even mentioned that. I don't know why. Is that true? I don't even know if that's true or not. Speaking of movies, because we're talking about the Jimi Hendrix movie starring Ice Cold Andre 3000, Andre Benjamin. Did you see the trailer for Denzel's new movie, The Equalizer? Now, is that based on the TV show with Edward Woodward that was on back in the 80s? I liked that show back then. Edward has since gone to glory. Now, I don't go to movies often, but when I do, I take those ickies with me. No. But remember in the 80s when Dynasty was on? And then all those stars were eager to be on Dynasty. Remember that? Rock Hudson was on there. Diane Carroll was on there. Carl Lockhart. Well, hey, we hadn't seen Carl Lockhart since what? Let's Do It Again. Not even Let's Do It Again. What was it? Uptown Saturday Night. Let's Do It Again. Yeah, he was the original Biggie Smalls, right? Yeah. And remember that hot woman that was she was a gangster with him, though? She was hot, man. Who was that? I need to look that up on Wikipedia and find out who that was. I always thought she was hot. Anyway. Don't you wish they would do that for, like, Scandal? You know, Denzel Washington could play Eli Pope's, little brother who is, trying to make his own way. Idris Elba could be Mama Pope's brother. Sanaa Lathan could play Olivia Pope's sister that she didn't know about. I mean, how about wouldn't that be cool if they start? Because, a lot of stars, they're signing up to be in the Sharknado 3, which is so over the top that it gets like a lot of love. And a lot of people, stars, are signing up to be in Sharknado 3. Wouldn't it be nice if Scandal, or maybe, I don't know, would it take away from Scandal? That'd be nice to see some superstars on there. Would be a ratings grabber for sure. That's just me thinking out loud over here. I've got some crazy stories to tell you about, including a woman who got caught trying to pay a hitman. She falls into the same trap. Every time someone tries to hire a hitman to kill somebody, it's always an undercover cop. Always. Doesn't it seem that way? I got to tell you about this one that happened in Missouri. I'll do that after this on the Tony Scott Internet Show.
Do you want to reach an audience that you haven't tapped into yet and not blow your budget? The Tony Scott Internet Show is new, growing, and available to you. And you don't have to be the third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, yes, or even eighth commercial in a commercial break like on the radio. Advertising on the Tony Scott Internet Show is extremely affordable. Contact us at advertise@TonyScottShow.com.
Hey, thanks so much for listening to the Tony Scott Internet Show. It's my first week of doing, I don't want to say it's my own thing, but just doing what I think I was born to do, and that's communicate. So, a lot of people ask me, well, what happened with the radio thing and all that stuff like that. At some point, that'll be addressed. Now's not the right time, but I'm surviving. I'm doing the best I can. You know what I'm saying? It's been tough, man. I'm not going to lie to you. Being unemployed. I told somebody this not long ago. Remember on the radio show, I used to always say, like if somebody did something stupid, I would say, at work, I would say, you know what, I think I need their job. To be quite honest with you, I don't know if I would ever do that again. I don't know if I would ever say that again because, man, being unemployed ain't no joke. And not so much the finances, although at some point that begins to play into the equation, but just the mental thing, the whole mental thing, And because I already have mental issues anyway, and I'm not trying to be funny, to me, it's just, man, it's just brutal, Can't do anything, can't, jobs are hard to get out there, and it's crazy, and just wanted to bang my head against the wall, and that's why, I asked for your support as far as sharing the videos and stuff, just so I can get some feedback as to what's, am I headed in the right direction, things like that? Are you sharing my content, things like that? All that actually matters because what it does, when you share my videos, when you give it a thumbs up on YouTube, when you subscribe to my YouTube channel, that helps in ways that you can't even imagine because it helps in search results because it ranks you higher. So when people go searching for something, as far as a keyword goes that I may put, like on this show, I talked about, for example, Omarion and his nude pic. So if I, tag Omarion nude pic, then the more people who share and give us a thumbs up and stuff like that, then when people put in Omarion nude pic in a search box, then mine will show up higher, which will people click those. The ones that are up higher, people don't go searching that often. If you got like 100 pages of Omarion nude pic, they're not going probably past page 5. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully, with your help, that's why I've always asked for your support on that. It doesn't cost anything. It's free to do. And so if you can, I appreciate it very much. There's a man in Oklahoma City police are looking for. He's a carjacker, suspected of carjacking. Distinguished features when they get him. Does he have a scar? Does he have a tattoo? Well, what does he have? Well, this guy's being called the Binky Bandit because he has robbed and carjacked someone on a parking lot, and turns out that while he was doing this, he was sucking on a pacifier. Hand to God, I'm telling you, I read this. I did. The photo, it looks stupid, But the Binky Bandit is wanted for a felony, for carjacking and possible robbery. I mean, usually, when they say, can you describe it? When he's about 6 foot tall, he had, a beard that was neatly trimmed. He had a tattoo of a woman in a bikini on his forearm, and he had that tear tattoo under his eye. And he had a Cardinal logo tattooed on the side of his face. Now, this guy's walking around sucking on a pacifier. This is a grown-ass man walking around sucking on a pacifier. Come on, man. He's described as about 18 years old. He's thin. He's about 5'9" to 5'11". And if you see him in Oklahoma City, you can call Crime Stoppers. They're 405-235-7300. That's the beauty about the internet show, is that it can be listened to anywhere really in the world. And I met a new friend this past weekend, April, who I met through my friend Sanita Wells. She lives in Oklahoma City, and hopefully she's listening and will share the content. It would be so appreciated, as I said. Now, every time you hear about someone hires a hitman to kill their lover's significant other, it always turns out bad for the one soliciting murder, because it's always an undercover officer, detective, federal agent who's acting undercover, who actually, makes the, solicits or is solicited, and they show up and have the conversation. And this story is no different in Kansas. Well, a 32-year-old Northwest Missouri woman, who I believe is from Maryville, Missouri, is accused of trying to hire somebody to kill the wife of a man that she dated while the man was separated from his wife. I guess he went back to his wife or something, but federal prosecutors filed a complaint against Christina Swinford. They say they met her 3 times. She met 3 times with a federal agent that she thought was a hitman. Prosecutors say that Christina, she offered to pay the undercover officer $20,000 to kill the woman who had gotten back with her husband. She later said she couldn't get that much money, but offered to pay the agent with some student loan money she was supposed to get. This never turns out well at all when you solicit for murder. Because what happens is you bringing people into your circle, your devious circle, you're bringing people in there who you really don't know. So you're going to decide that you're going to pay somebody, in this instance for Christina, you're going to pay somebody $20,000 to kill your ex-boyfriend's wife because they got back together. But this is someone you've never, ever really met. And then you meet 2 more times and then try and seal the deal. So this person, you're going to tell that you want them to kill somebody that, a month ago you had never seen in your life. Ever. And you're going to tell them this story, offer $20,000, and then you tell them, well, I don't have $20,000, but I got a student loan with some money coming from that. I can give you some of that. Are you serious? Really? Are you that out of the loop? Do you actually, maybe this is her reality, but I think I can speak safely by saying for most of us, this is not our reality at all. I don't think I've ever known. There are people I've been angry at. There are people I've been mad at. There are people I've been resentful of. And to be quite honest, there's probably a couple of people still on that list. I can't think of them right now, but I'm an evolving person and I'm trying to do the best thing. I'm trying to be better inside and out, that kind of thing, right? But I don't think out of all the people who I've despised in my life, I've never wanted them killed. I've never wanted anybody killed. I've never, as angry as I've ever been at anybody, I've never wanted anybody to have harm brought to them. I actually wanted them to be able to be reasonable and understand where I'm coming from, and or in the case of some people who just don't get it, to wake up, right? I got a cousin who only takes jobs that pay cash so he doesn't have to pay child support. Somebody like that I really don't like, but I don't want him to die. You know, I don't want him to die. I don't. Why would you want someone dead? I mean, you hate somebody. If you hate somebody that much, to the point where you're actually willing to pay someone else, a third person, money, student loan money, to kill them, the problem is not the person you're trying to get killed. The problem is you. The problem is you. You have so much rage in your heart that you actually want somebody to die. Oh my God, really? I mean, think about that for a second. You hate someone so much you want them to die. Something's wrong with you. Something is terribly, terribly wrong. I'm just being honest with you. I just don't understand people like that. I understand being angry with people. I understand carrying a grudge. You know, I understand these kinds of things. But someone you despise so much that you want them dead, that you're willing to pay money to make it happen. Wow. That's crazy, man. You can't go through life like that. You can't go through life like that. That will eat you alive. And in this particular case with this woman in Maryville, Missouri, she was going to kill this woman. This woman had done nothing to her. This woman has done nothing to her. This woman wanted to save her marriage. And so she got her husband to come back home. Can't be mad at that. It's like when you mess with someone who's married, there's always a chance they're going to go back to their spouse. That's one of the things you have to accept. You know? It's like, remember the Seinfeld episode when it was about the grapefruit? And Jerry Seinfeld says, you know, when I buy grapefruit, you buy grapefruit with the understanding that there's a 50% possibility that it's going to be bad. You accept that when you buy a grapefruit. Remember that? This is like, you know, when you mess around with someone and they're married, you understand that, you know, there's going to be there in more cases than not, there's a shelf life to that relationship. You know, there's an expiration date on it. At some point, it's gonna end. He or she may decide that they want to repair their relationship with their significant other. Maybe they really do love their significant other, and maybe they got caught up. But you have to understand that's always a problem. You can't get mad. You can't get mad. And if you're going to get mad and offer to pay somebody $20,000, you got to have the 20 grand. You can't throw out a figure and then say, I don't have it. That person would kill you. A hitman would kill you. Really. Because you done wasted their time. They told you the price, you said okay, and then you come back to get final details in a meeting, and you say, I don't have the 20 grand. They're going to kill you. I just don't understand people, man. Call me crazy, call me kooky, call me just an what's the word? A non-understanding person, because I just don't get it at all. So we'll end it right there. We're at about 30 minutes. Advertising opportunities are available for the Tony Scott Internet Show and also on the website, talking360.com, the Talking 360 newsletter, my YouTube shows. If you're interested in advertising, not looking to blow your budget, because I understand you're probably a small business. If you're not a small business, we'll just ignore all that and give me some money. I mean, come on, man. Help a brother out. Everybody I talk to about trying to get advertising always tells me the same thing. Man, you Tony Scott, man. You an icon. You an icon, man. You a legend, man. You're the voice of St. Louis. Yeah, okay. I appreciate the kind words. I do. I really do. But you know what? That's doing nothing for me over here. I got to be real honest with you. So if you're interested, you can hit me up on email, advertise@TonyScottShow.com. Thank you so much for listening today. I really appreciate it. Again, if you can share this, if you can give it a thumbs up, whatever you can do to help me spread the message that I have this show, it would be wonderful. It would be great. All right. Thanks so much again, and I'll see you tomorrow.